We'll announce it. We'll try to come up with a workaround here in just a minute. But the score, everything you see on the screen at the moment is taken live from what's inside the building, but it is not working inside the building. And we are underway as we're going to start first with Lone Peak as Cam Swiggett sends out Isaac Staley off on the 3, rebound to Fotheringham. Luke sent back out to Ike. Second shot won't go either, tipped out by Burgess, taken back by Staley. Isaac Staley 0 for 3 to get started, but it's 4 offensive rebounds for Lone Peak.
Look, he's just trying to give time for that scoreboard to get fixed, right? So,
inside the building, the shot clock and everything is working. And so you'll see right there on the top right of your screen is Thompson Kramer sends back out Cam Swiggett, now Fotheringham. Luke sends inside to Chamberlain Burgess, and Chamberlain with the mid-range J, and it's 2-0 Lone Peak A, and the scoreboard's working.
Yeah, they gave that announcement, but the clock has been running. They get the points up, so we'll keep our fingers crossed here.
Well, and Dan Barney's one of the most truthful people you'll ever meet, so I believe him.
I think Ike should be credited with that. I mean, he gave them time to get it fixed, a couple early misses.
We're going to go with Davis starts on the angle. This is Zach Fisher working back up top, Coleman Atwater. And Coleman will back things out as we are underway in the 2023 6A Boys State Championship Tournament as Atwater off on the 3. I should clarify, we're in the quarterfinals. As Luke Fotheringham going to drive at Eggett and score.
We had someone tell us before the game, and I agree, Luke Fotheringham needs to have himself a week for these Lone Peak Knights. He's been a big contributor for them, and if he can get in that 14 to 18 range this week, that would be a huge lift in keeping Lone Peak's title runs alive.
Atwater sends back up top to Ike Morgan. Fisher now to Zach Fisher in the corner. And now it's Eggett going to work it. Staley goes at him, and Isaac with the block. Eggett lucky not to get the loose ball foul on that one.
It's one of the things about this Davis group. They are, a couple of years where they've had to play bigger than they are listed. And Lone Peak has that length to go at him as Burgess again.
This feels like the regular season game. Remember Burgess opened up that game with a huge dunk. I think he had 8 points in the first quarter. He's now got all 6 Lone Peak points. Morgan sent along the baseline to Fisher.
Ike Morgan's really come on as the season has gone on for Davis. He's been a great stabilizing force at that guard position.
Alex Fisher on the drive and just crawls off the rim. The foul on the Lone Peak. It's going to go to Fotheringham, his first. They're going to put Fisher at the line for 2.
And I do like Davis trying to work inside. I mean, possession to go. It was Eggett inside. It was deflected, but we try to go at Lone Peak, get them in some foul troubles. We were talking about that before the game. They have had a tendency, Lone Peak has, to pick up a couple cheap ones. And so if you can get some of the starters on the bench early, I like that mindset for Davis.
It was interesting when I talked to Coach Rob Ross before the second Pleasant Grove game, and I asked him about it. He said, hey, we got to stop fouling so far away from the hoop. Yeah. Doing some careless stuff, and they've kind of somewhat corrected it. The veteran individuals have some issues as Fisher knocks down the free throws. And down the floor we go with Lone Peak, Cam Swiggett, Luke Fotheringham, Isaac Staley, Chamberlain Burgess, and Thompson Kramer, the starting 5 as Cam Swiggett. He's been quiet from the floor for the last couple of games, knocks down a big 3.
I was talking to someone yesterday, unassociated with either program, neutral, and said that Swiggett kid, he can absolutely score it, and when he does, it really rounds out this Lone Peak offense.
Morgan leaves it for Fisher. Zach Fisher fouled from behind. This is going to go on Chamberlain Burgess, his first, team's second. And that's going to put the other Fisher, Zach Fisher, at the line. Now, Zach and Alex are not brothers. In fact, I don't know that they're related. They're even cousins.
Yeah, I'm not aware of a formal relationship there. I'm sure, in the long run, probably somewhere.
Especially spelled the same. You think it'd be different if it's Fischer. I don't know why that's not Fisker, but it's Fisher in most places.
Yeah, in most places.
But they're both Fisher Fishers.
Fisher.
As Zach missed the first, and his the second. Of course, this is the site of one of my favorite playoff games of all time. That was the Tyler Haas versus Chase Flint, Lone Peak versus Davis semifinal that was here at the D Event Center as Thompson Kramer misses on that one. Eggett with the board. In fact, this is the first time Davis and Lone Peak had played against each other at the D Event Center since that fateful morning in 2008 as Atwater misses on that one. And this could be the matchup we'll get used to. Is you have a lot of really good sophomores on the floor.
Yes.
And Atwater, Staley, and Burgess.
And even some juniors as well.
Eggett with the steal. Eggett on the take, and then the foul as he goes at Cam Swiggett. And the foul will go Cameron Swiggett. That's the 13th foul.
That is one of the things that I'm just kind of waiting on for Davis is at what point does that three ball come into play? That's typically been one of the equalizers for this Davis group over the course of the year. They shoot it really well, but we haven't seen them take a look from outside yet. Everything's been get to the rim, work in the paint, and some early missed free throws here hasn't helped the cause.
Been surprised by the missed free throws here from Davis.
Yeah.
As much as I am surprised about the late showing Davis student section, although this is not a knock, just an observation. Not the same Davis student section we're used to in years past.
Well, but at least they have a student section.
Well, Lone Peak's coming in that snow. You and I both took that drive this morning. As Staley get a draw that blocked on Eggett. I think a good call.
There was really just like 5 miles. It really wasn't that bad. I mean, I don't know that I ever slowed down below 90. So I'm sure you were over 100 the whole way.
I got here a little earlier. Hey, welcome in.
Hey,
Dusty, let's do
how about
it.
that?
We're trying all kinds of new
here,
technology. Dusty's doing all kinds of stuff as I hit the wrong button.
Another question. Oh, I was going to say, could he get it back? Yes, he can.
It's going to take me a second to
that
learn all the cool
pre-production
stuff.
meeting was really helpful.
Trying to lob that into Suarez. Look, we're going after it this week.
Hey, we got new stuff here. We got a bunch of new toys, and so
there's that part of me that wants to just go the end around, just go the old way. But I want to learn the board and go inside to Suarez. Jorge sends out Cam Swiggett for 3. The second 3 of the quarter for Cameron Swiggett.
Yeah, 6 early points. We talk about that 3 ball, the impact it can make. Lone Peak hitting them early. Davis has not taken one yet.
On the drive, Fisher sends back out.
How about the Lone Peak D? They've been very active defensively. It's been Coach Ross's calling card, and he's playing defense over on the sideline there. He's the 6th man.
He's really into it.
Yeah.
It's Coleman Atwater. Goes base, can't get it to go, and it's Taylor coming away with the offensive rebound. He sends back up top to Eggett, and Atwater, you see the youngster not getting caught up in it, held off on pulling the trigger. Fisher. And now on the drive is Colby Wicker, and Wicker thought he'd get a call, did not. Taylor couldn't get the rebound. It's taken by Staley.
I thought Kramer did a pretty good job staying vertical there.
And remember, you're right. You can leave your feet. You've got to stay vertical as that ball goes off of Wicker, and we'll stay here with Lone Peak.
Oh, it's fun to be here, huh, Dusty? State tournament, the site. First of 8 games today.
Oh, we got 8 today, 8 tomorrow, and then 4 every day after that till Saturday.
Yeah.
We said this is the best week of the year. We got a little pushback on, hey, look, we got 4 state tournaments all running at the same site. Pretty awesome. As Swiggett sends out. Suarez, no, and the rebound taken by Fisher. And ahead to Alex Fisher. Alex to Taylor. Taylor on the baseline. Eggett. He held off. Oh, it's a late whistle. I don't think that's a foul. I'll go ahead and say it. I mean, that's interesting. And it'll be free throws to Eggett.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
you couldn't hear my reaction.
No, not at all.
I got Courtney Littledyke's watching, so I need to make sure I don't.
I will tell you this. That's one where I think Eggett, you get that ball, go right up with it, right? The hesitation there allows that defense to come back. And, I think that's a call that sometimes gets called, sometimes maybe does not. He's maybe fortunate to head to the line there. But, again, Davis, another missed free throw.
Been surprising. I think that's what their 6th missed free throw of the quarter.
It's been a lot.
As I know at the end of the half and everything else, we get our stats from the one and only Curtis Pettengill. He and his sweet wife are running the stats right now. As that free throw is good. It's 12-5 here early on at the D Event Center. Quarterfinal day, 6A, boys and girls. Boys here in the morning session. Girls will have the afternoon and evening. We'll be here until about 10:30 tonight. Yes, As Fotheringham sends out to Amberry. 3 from the corner from Thompson Kramer won't go. Amberry with the rebound. And it'll be a foul on Colby Wicker. So second team foul on the Darts. And we'll inbound with Burton on the baseline. Officials for today's game, Greg Spencer, Brian Brand, and Jared Emmerich. As it's Amberry inside, he comes off the bench and gets 2 points. And Tyler Amberry extending the lead for Lone Peak to 9.
Yeah, that's an easy look. High screen, no help on that inbound, and able to get a clean finish.
Well, this is how the year started for Davis. They fell behind in games early, and they climbed back in. That was the Utah County trifecta they had against Lone Peak, Pleasant Grove, and Lehigh, where they did the exact same thing, and all 3 games fell behind. It was like 30-19 in almost every one of those games as Eggett, maybe an extra step, the block from Burgess, the ball still loose. Kramer hits the deck, and now we have a
jump ball.
Yeah. In the state tournament, you always have that official that grants the timeout to the coach.
I don't know if you saw Brighton Skyline last week. There was a very late timeout that was not popular by one bench. Some thought that ball was in the air on a full court pass. Yeah, there's the look. There
it is. And it wasn't one of surprise, just shock.
Anyway,
the call from the coaches on the sideline gets that as Fisher knocks down the jumper, and the 2 there for Alex Fisher. But it's kind of what happens in the state tournament is that there's that scrum for the ball, and there's a coach yelling timeout, and there's an official that grants it. And it's usually the fastest one there. Kind of like Family Feud, first one to the buzzer. As Thompson Kramer, he wants to find his range, knocks down the long range 2, and a 9-point lead back for the Knights. Shot clock, game clock, about 15-second difference. Send out Fisher on the drive. Zach fall away over Fotheringham, crawls out, rebound to Burgess. Loose ball foul going to be charged to Alex Fisher. It'll be the 3rd team foul on the Darts.
What a great job there defensively. I think it was Fotheringham wasn't baiting on that little pump fake, stayed right with it, even through the fadeaway. No contact, just arm vertical, going with the offensive player makes it an extremely difficult shot.
So the shot clock turned off. There's Thompson Kramer. And a nice job on that trap, and Taylor knocking out the run out. The foul to Kramer. It'll be the 5th team foul on the Lone Peak Knights.
Yeah, they're adding up. I have a new. I don't know. I'm going to give this. Actually, you know what? We're going to wait. We're going to wait. I thought
we're producing on air all over the place.
I thought of a new rule. I'm going to wait. Not a rule, but a new motto, I guess.
A new motto, okay.
Yeah. We'll wait.
Rule of thumb.
We'll wait.
As Morgan goes right into Burgess, and Burgess gives away his 2nd foul.
And that's one of those cheap ones.
Yeah, that's
right?
you just kind of hand it to him.
Yeah, and that's one where I get you're trying to hedge. See that a lot, but, man, if you're going to make that move, you got to move a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Very late decision, and Chamberlain here going to have to come to the bench.
And remember, the block has nothing to do with movement. Are you defending that space first?
Have you established defensive positioning?
Yeah.
And
clearly did not as Morgan drives base, sends to the corner. Fisher at the horn. He got it! A much-needed 3 for the Davis Darts as we close out the first quarter. And at the end of one, it is Lone Peak 16, Davis 10. You're watching the 2023 6A Boys quarterfinals on KSLSports.com. Start of the second quarter, Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you. It's game 1 of 8 here on quarterfinal Tuesday in 6A. And, man, Lone Peak going to go right back after it as Jackson Best checked in during the quarter break. Suarez, extra pass to Fotheringham. Swiggett, corner 3. Off the mark from Best. Backside board. Hip, hip, Jorge. Jorge Suarez with the board and bucket.
He's the 6th different scorer now for Lone Peak. And, I mean, even that possession, how about the ball movement? Because you get that ball inside, but we're going to dribble out to get a better look. Lone Peak right now is executing extremely well on the offensive end of the floor.
As Fisher sends to the corner, Morgan off on the 3, rebound to Swiggett. And some I think I give preferential treatment to Jorge Suarez. He just happens to name Jorge, and one of my favorite This Is Sports Center commercials was the Hip Hip Jorge Posada commercial. As Swiggett misses, Suarez misses on the bunny.
You know, he had those 2 big threes against American Fork, and you commented on the video on Twitter. I was like, man, that's such a better call. I totally blew it. Dusty should have been here for the legendary Hip Hip Jorge. Instead, he had to deal with my
Your call was
average
great.
attempt.
You're great. It was awesome. As the foul going to be to Ike Morgan. That's the 4th team foul on Davis. And if you don't know the commercial, just go to YouTube and go.
It's a good one. Yeah.
And I'm not a Yankee fan. Let's make sure that's very well understood. I just love that commercial.
As a Pirates fan, the Yankees are kind of my major league team because
you're
the
the farm
Pirates are
system.
the minor system for the Yankees.
Hey,
so.
you got Andrew McCutcheon back.
Yes, we do.
Some 10 years later as Fotheringham. Actually, I don't know if it was 10 years. But Jackson Best on the drive. That goes off his leg, and it's going to go back to Davis. Jackson Best, I didn't know that he dribbled that much.
Yeah.
He's kind of the Klay Thompson of the early part of the season with the threes.
In fact, didn't he hit some big ones in this first matchup?
He did. He had 4 threes in this first one. Made it on our cut-up and highlight. The much-coveted space, by the way, because when games don't go on there, it's when we hear about it. And that's what we love, as Wicker brings it near side to Fisher. Alex, cross-court to Morgan. Morgan on the drive, leaves it for Eggett, and Eggett lays it up and in. Such good ball movement there from Davis.
Yeah, and that's really what we've come to know from this program the last 4 years or so here with Coach Sims, is that ball movement. We talked about it with Lone Peak earlier, but getting that ball the right spot, getting an open look, and I love the unselfish find there. Important for Eggett to see that go down, too.
Doesn't Eggett kind of remind you of he should be playing post for Jeff Gardner? Gardner would have him on that run out off of made buckets and stuff.
Yeah.
And I love, everyone knows we love Chad Sims, but kind of feels like that's a Skyridge post.
Shot clock.
At 2. Blocked away by Fisher. And now a
shot
clock violation. I've always thought, and this is not a knock on Mr. Official, Spencer does a great job. I've always thought if you get a block on a shot clock violation, we should still be in transition. If you got the block, defense has possession, we should be going the other way, play through.
Yeah, I understand that. I kind of like it because I think it takes some of that judgment out, right?
Okay.
Where it's like, hey, we're playing this dead because we're gonna benefit the 35 seconds of defense that you called, unless you have like a big run out, which I think rarely is the case in those situations. But
good call. Fisher off on the 3 and a rebound, tracked down by Staley.
I'm just trying to get on the NFHS board, really. So
well, that's all I'm playing for. Is Jackson Best back ribs the 3. That's why I keep the affiliation.
How about Best chasing down his own rebound on the other side of the floor, huh?
Fotheringham, 4-3. We were talking to someone not affiliated with the program. Well, he's affiliated with the program. It's not on the coaching staff. He's like, man, Luke just hasn't shot it the last little bit. Well, there you go.
Here he comes. I thought of a great call for Luke, too.
As
Luke, I am your Fotheringham.
Straight from the PA man. There's the bucket there for Eggett. Timeout, Chad Sims. 4:33 left in the half. It's a football score. Lone Peak 21, Davis 14. You're watching the 2023 6A quarterfinals on KSLSports.com. And welcome back in. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you. And as always, presented by Heidemann Associates. Go to utah.law to find the law office nearest you. Also want to welcome Where Are You Watching Us sponsor, Modern Missionary. If you go to Modern Missionary's website, call season's coming up soon, but if you go to the website and fill out the information, you can get in for a free shirt and washable tie as well. I want to thank Modern Missionary. And also, send us some pictures. Where are you watching us? We know there's a lot of classrooms and everyone else, but if you're not in the classroom, and we know there's fans from all over the world watching, hit us up. Show us at KSL Sports Rewind where you're watching us. As Isaac Staley short on the three, I think Coach Rob Ross would take the 7-point lead, knowing that your leading scorer in Staley 0 for 4 from the line, or from the field, I should say.
And how many offensive rebounds is Lone Peak getting right now? They're first to the ball on both ends of the floor, making a big difference early on.
As Swiggett going to back it up to the top of the key. Cross court to Best, straight away again. Swiggett going to pull, short on the triple, another offensive rebound.
And that's even over the tallest Davis Dart, and Alex Fisher.
Fotheringham.
Zach.
Skip to Staley. Maybe blocked there by Taylor. Good defense by Taylor. And down the floor we go with Davis. And Chad Sims wants to be a little more deliberate offensively on this possession. Morgan straight away with Taylor. Alex Fisher back to Morgan. Isaac cut off, over to Taylor. Outside Eggett. Zach Fisher drive the base, left hand, and got it.
Zach Fisher, I love this kid. He's just a junior, love his length. And how about the quick burst there to get around the defense and get to the rim. Soft finish, love the take.
Best, high post Fotheringham. Luke, jump it and score it.
Boy, maybe some miscommunication there. They kind of left Luke and gave him a couple extra feet. He was able to come and score it. And, boy, that is Zach right there. Not looking good.
He turned the non-braced ankle there. We've got to learn from Steph Curry. Just go ahead and brace them both.
I didn't see him mouth, I heard a pop, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
He's trying to walk it off.
Yeah.
That's a tough kid. I mean,
doing his best Patrick Mahomes here, trying to.
Hey, if you haven't watched that Inside the NFL, highly recommend it.
Yeah?
Absolutely, because it's just all the audio from the field. Yeah, he was in pain, man.
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure.
He was,
I don't say that to dog it.
Yeah,
I can't imagine playing through that.
And able to do it, too. I mean, that's what's kind of amazing. So,
I mean, I've had a couple ingrown toenails, let alone a high ankle sprain.
On the same ankle, no less.
Yeah.
But, no, that's really good. The whole mic'd up players, and you can YouTube that one as well. I'll just give out YouTube stuff all day long. Go to Rewind Sports Network. Find our stuff there. Is Wicker off on the three. Rebound to Swiggett. Cameron quickly ahead to Suarez. Jorge cross court. Best. Give it up to Fotheringham. Luke goes at Fisher. Now Best. Back inside to Fotheringham. Luke to Staley. Isaac pull up in the key. Can't get the first one to fall. Rebound to Fisher.
That's a much better look for Ike, though. You talk about hasn't gotten stuff to fall, get to a good area of the floor.
And Eggett going to pick up the foul on the rebound. Suarez came away with it. I think that's number 2 on Eggett. It is the second.
Yeah.
If only I had a sheet in front of me where I keep track of said things.
I got a laptop. I just have to remember to put it in.
I don't know if I can.
I think I'm doing okay.
I don't know if I can retroactively go back and make sure I get these here. I want to thank Curtis Pettengill. Always takes care of us. It didn't hurt that in the years when we first started doing all the Davis games, I always went to Curtis. I left my rosters on the printer. And now he just has them all ready for us without asking. And all of our guys who go do the games at Davis are beneficiaries of that. They're a little spoiled when they go to other games and aren't the Pettengills running rosters and stats to them.
Hey, where's Curtis? He only does Davis stuff.
Oh.
What?
Swiggett on the drive, hangs, no, and rebound taken by Atwater.
Tell you, Davis has done a good job of hanging around. I don't want to say frazzled, but it's looked like it's kind of, hey, we're having to piecemeal some stuff together here, and they're still in this ball game. Been able to generate enough.
Atwater stays patient, hits Taylor. He's fouled. That's going to put Taylor at the line. And Caleb will get 2 free throws.
And that's the second on Swiggett. So 2 on Cam, 2 on Burgess.
Well, that's where you know that Lone Peak is a threat, because in the heyday of Lone Peak, all the time, unless it was Tyler Haws. Tyler was like the only one that I can remember never getting in foul trouble in the heyday of Lone Peak. But the rest of the team, however, were always early in the bonus. So the first free throw good for Caleb Taylor. And lips out the second. So 6-point advantage for Lone Peak. Lead's been as big as, I think it was 13 points, 23-10. A little 7-0 spurt from Davis. Best over to Staley. Back over to Jackson. Now into Suarez. Jorge hits the moving Fotheringham, who lays it up and in.
Those baselines against zone are absolute money. And Luke Fotheringham starts in the corner. You go high post. Defense don't have eyes in the back of their head. And Luke Fotheringham finding himself a paved path to the lane.
And Atwater. He was failed by the wide channel basketball. And now Lone Peak going to back things out. Looking for the final shot of the first half, as game clock, shot clock's about a half a second different. Swiggett holding up top.
Davis fans are booing, but they really wouldn't have liked the non-shot clock era. We do this for 2 minutes at a time.
A 35-second shot clock in Utah High School basketball. As Swiggett straight away for Staley. Short on the 3. Rebound to Suarez, went off his leg. And there will not be a final shot at the end of the half. And we are already through 16 minutes in the first game of the quarterfinals. And it is Lone Peak 25, Davis 17. You're watching the 2023 6A quarterfinals on KSLSports.com, your home for high school championships, presented by Heidemann Associates. So welcome back in the event center, Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart. You know, one of the great things about doing these games is we got history doing these games.
Yeah.
And we have history of everything else we're doing. So I do know a little bit might happen here. I don't know what this is going to be, but Vince Francis, he never wants to be on camera, but he always wants to make fun of those on camera or whatever else. But he keeps track of everything. So we want to go back and show a flashback here in just a few minutes. But a fun game, 25-17. I wish it was the flashback of the Tyler Haws Chase Flint thing, but we didn't own those rights back then. If you look at the difference in this game, it's an 8-point spread for Lone Peak. Okay, 8-point spread for Lone Peak, but one of the biggest things, 21 rebounds for the Knights, 10 of them on the offensive boards.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that in that first half. You could see how prevalent that was, but my goodness, to see it play out like that in the stats, half their rebounds are on the offensive end. The other thing interesting to me, half the field goal attempts from Lone Peak are from beyond the arc, and haven't shot the ball extremely well yet, just 21% from beyond the arc, but they've clearly come into this game wanting to see that long ball.
Yeah, one of the most important things in this state tournament is going to be rebounding, and welcome back, there, Dusty and Dane. We wanted to do the on camera. We're still figuring some stuff out, but you know, first start of this week, and it's a lot of fun to be in the building.
Coke, the unofficial sponsor of the Voice.
The very unofficial sponsor,
and, yeah, look, it's a fun week. We love doing it, and we got some great coaches coming up as well to join us on streams. In fact, we've got a former Lone Peak coach who's going to be on a stream with us a little bit later, so you're going to want to tune in and hear what they have to say as they get some broadcast experience. Should we
give the lineup?
Yeah, let's do it.
David Evans is going to join us for the Corner Canyon Westlake game. And then in the game after that, Casey Walkenhurst, the current head coach of the Farmington Phoenix, the former head coach of West Jordan, is going to join us for the Syracuse and Cypress game. And then Brian Alfrey, one of the directors and creators of the Utah Top 50, is going to join us in the last boys game of the day, the American Fork and Fremont game. Is going to be a lot of fun. As We have all kinds of people. We got girls coaches. Amy Dorier is going to join us. And that foul will go to Cameron Egret. Or probably.
He called on it.
Well, he said 13, and it's Cam Swiggett.
Yeah, so that's going to be 3 on Cam.
I thought Dan Barney, the PA man, who does such a great job, I thought he said Staley, but Swiggett. There's the miss from Egget. Thought that was going to drop. And now on the run with Thompson Kramer. So Thompson down the lane, all the way to the rim. Thompson Kramer.
Well, you want to give that much room to Kramer. He's going to make you pay. And look, I feel like Lone Peak's taking advantage of some of the athleticism that they've been able to get on some of those first steps. Burgess back on the floor here with the 2.
Egget goes at Burgess. Chamberlain could not.
Burgess. I'm telling you, is there anyone who's more money from 15 than Chamberlain Burgess? Like, you might as well book it.
In a day and age, as we talked about, 50% of the shots from Lone Peak were from 3, that the mid-range J has gone away.
Yeah.
It has not gone away from Chamberlain Burgess.
That's his money move right there.
As Egget goes at Burgess and scores. Chamberlain got to be smart with the fouls.
Yeah. And I love Kate. When we talk about this is a Davis lineup the last couple of years that they've had to play bigger than they're listed, and Egget's going right at Burgess, and he's had a couple of successful shots through the big man.
Thompson Kramer holding on the angle. Kramer over to Swiggett. Hit 3 threes in the first half.
Davis been in a zone a lot in this game. He's been aggressive throughout.
And 11 points for Luke Fotheringham. As Egget comes on the angle here to Coleman Atwater. Did not take the base that was invited for him to take. And Atwater with a left-handed scoop under Burgess.
Well, that's one you got to be careful. I thought Burgess maybe had that downward swipe. Ooh, and then Fisher here going to be called with a foul on the other end.
Swiggett pushed it the other way and draws the foul. We're going to put Cameron Swiggett at the line.
Second there on Zach.
Of course, I want to thank Utah Jazz Camps for joining us on our coverage this week as well and throughout the year. Go to UtahJazzCamps.com. Find there's a bunch of camps coming your way. We'll have a little slide. We'll show that a little bit later on some of the camps coming. Camps.com. Swiggett goes 1 of 2, so lead is 9.
It's got to be something on that end. I mean, Davis struggled from the line on that end.
And it's usually the better shooting end because on this end, they don't have the curtains drawn on the tunnel.
Lone Peak did not take a free throw in that first half.
So actually, we don't know if it's this end.
Yeah, it's a poor sample.
Not enough data to really know what's going to happen. The algorithm's not flowing yet.
Cannot calculate.
Fisher into the corner. Morgan with 5 on the shot clock sends out to Egget. Zach Fisher, 4-3.
And here come the darts, Dusty. Playing with a lot more confidence in this second half than first. Things starting to flow.
6-point game, 4:50 left in the third. You're watching the 2023 6A quarterfinals. 4:50 left in the third. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you. Game 1 of 8 on the day. Corner Canyon, Westlake coming up next. On the final day of February, but the first day of the tournament at the site, as we now get to call it. As Fotheringham goes base and hits. Love the move there from Luke Fotheringham. 13 on the day for the senior.
Yeah, he's having himself a big day, and I love that response as well, coming out of the timeout, getting to the guy who's been finding his offensive rhythm all game long. Good finish.
Zach Fisher looking inside to Eggett. That ball's out of bounds off of Fotheringham, and will stay here. On the floor for Coach Chad Sims is Zach Fisher, Alex Fisher, Coleman Atwater. Thompson Kramer.
I almost went to stop the clock on that whistle.
My hands don't know what to do.
Yeah.
When there's buckets, I'm looking like, who's going to change it? Yeah. You think I'd be better at it? I've had intern Kenzie handle most of my stuff. Oh, there's a block from Burgess. No, number 3 on Chamberlain. Thought for a second they weren't going to blow the whistle. And Mr. Fisher got him. It's going to be 2 free throws coming the way.
You know, it could just be we're also further away here, so it might have just taken longer for the light to go from the floor up to row 31 or wherever we're at.
There's a long way for that signal to go down and come back.
Yeah. Physics, man.
Science. Yay, science.
I hear the jury's still out on science. To borrow one of the great quotes of all time. You know the show?
I don't know the show.
I hear the jury's still out on science.
I'm going to guess Arrested Development.
Yes! I don't even know that's running the floor. That might be like
that's a church ball bucket.
Luke's got on you, man.
Luke's got plenty of time left on that.
It's almost cherry season. You know, we're good.
Cherry picker. Here's Coleman Atwater, comes up the screen of Eggett. So if these references are flowing now, just wait until 9:10 tonight.
Yeah, this is the early game.
Oh, nice job by Eggett. Move without the ball. Fisher finds him for the easy 2.
He's got 6 points in the quarter. First double-figure score for the Darts.
Swiggett sends out to Kramer. Thompson out to Fotheringham. Luke drives at Eggett. Blocked away. Nice job by Eggett.
Davis. I don't want to say they were intimidated in the first half, but, boy, they look much more purposeful in the second half, don't they?
Extra pass and 3. Alex Fisher.
With 10 and Zach with 8.
As this game's feeling a lot like that original matchup in the regular season.
Yeah, it is. In the second half for Davis, they've looked, dialed in. And we're going to give Lone Peak a fight. We thought this would be a close game, and first half didn't quite look like that, but it's getting that way now.
Well, it's why I referenced, because I did that Utah County trifecta when they played PG, Lone Peak, and then at Lehigh. Yeah. Where it was it was the exact same game that we're seeing today. Fell behind early, kind of found their way. A guy got going. And he's with Chad Sims. He's going to figure out, and his teams are going to figure out where to go. They won't give up on a game.
And that's the impressive thing, because the region's schedule back half really didn't finish very well. As Ike Staley, that's good for Ike to see that go through.
Yeah, he needs to see the ball go through the
seed has been really impressive, and speak to your point, they don't give up.
3-on-1, and it's Jackson Best with the bucket. A 30-second timeout taken by Rob Ross, and now Lone Peak push that lead back up to 9. And let's stay here and talk about that. For Davis, I know Chad Sims is a Clearfield Falcon and all.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to lose a game to him. I can't remember the last time. I don't know.
It was 2009.
2009. Okay. Man, that seems like a long time ago.
That's a long time.
13 years.
Yeah, since they had lost to Clearfield. And then, I go do the game at Syracuse, and that game's over in the first half. And it just looked like things just weren't meshing. And then you get to the state tournament, and you have to go play Riverton.
Weber first.
Thank you. Yeah, Weber first. Then you have to go play Riverton, which you're Region 3 champ. And that's a gritty game. They have to come back from being down. Does.
Well,
right?
What we know is the game's going to be close because that Weber game, they were up 9 late, and then 3 balls start falling for Weber as Skane kind of got going and other guys, and then that Riverton game, they had to just gut it out and kept going. But we know this game will be close because both these teams play a lot of close games. And the winner will take on the winner of Corner Canyon and Westlake. So they'll be coming up next as Taylor misses on the corner 3 and the rebound taken by Staley. Fotherham on the drive, and he's going to get hit with the travel. Trying violation before anything else. I was about to say that would be the weakest passing crash in the history of passing crashes.
Give our officials more credit than that.
But Dusty. He did. It was a good call. I mean, that's fine, yeah.
That foot skipped. It was the right call.
I did have my first girls' game passing crash. Now, that was the softest passing crash. My dislike of the passing crash. 3 on the way from Wicker. Got it. Hey, look, Colby Wicker. This was a kid in that Lone Peak game. It was Colby Wicker that got going late.
Early in the year, it was like, this is going to be Colby Wicker's team. And they've had a great balance all year long. But, man, he has that ability to step up and make big-time shots, and that's a big 3 for Davis.
Couple of jab steps. Fotheringham off on the 3, and Taylor tracks down the board. And those were boards that were going the way of Lone Peak in the first half. Atwater out to Taylor. Back to Coleman. Wicker with Suarez. Back over to Atwater, the sophomore. And they'll reset the offense here. 20 on the shot clock. Atwater to the corner. Zach Fisher off on the 3 and a rebound to Best. And Jackson Best is fouled. It'll be the third team foul of the quarter. And this is where I think next year we see a little more of the 2-for-1s, maybe not the best situation trying to get that.
You know, I actually asked the coach about that. He said, well, some of it is players are still understanding the 2-for-1, right? And we might coach that, but being a first year with that at the varsity level and just bring that element in, it takes players a little bit to kind of understand what the right kind of shot is in those scenarios to help ensure that. I thought it was an interesting perspective.
And not pulling the trigger with 40 seconds left.
Right, right. Taking a bad shot just to get a 2-for-1, right?
So Fotheringham with the shot clock turned off with the defensive foul, much to the chagrin of Davis. Suarez out to Staley, not going to force it. Over to Thompson Kramer with 20. There is a shot clock in Utah High School basketball, as we were just talking about, but off here. Isaac, long on the 3, rebound to Suarez, no, tipped up, and that'll do it for the third. We go to the fourth quarter and a 6-point game. It is Lone Peak leading Davis 40-34. You're watching the 2023 6A state tournament on KSLSports.com. Start of the fourth quarter, Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you. Again, game 1 of 8 today in the boys 6A. Well, we have boys and girls 6A state tournament. And let us know where you're watching us from. Are you in class or wherever? hit us up at KSL Sports Rewind. Send us a photo of what you're doing. And, of course, that's brought to you by Modern Missionary. Go to Modern Missionary's website. And with mission call opening time coming up for those who are going to go on missions, get a free shirt and washable tie. Modern Missionary.
A washable tie will serve you well if you ever don't have napkins. Been there, done that.
Well, I got that with cheesesteaks. Is Staley? No, certainly with Wawa mustard. You get your Wawa
yeah.
pretzel and lemonade with little mustard there.
Sheets?
Yeah. So Romney running for president, and he was talking about Wawa and the way they do the touchscreen hoagies. And everyone kind of made fun of him. Like, it's like because you've never been.
MTO, man, made to order.
It's like you're only saying because you've never been. It's awesome.
And everyone's like, well, I can do that at McDonald's. Now, this is 20 years ago.
Yeah, this was in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Way ahead of its time. As Staley hits both free throws, and the lead back to 8. It's been whittled down to 5. Not down to 6 coming in here in the fourth quarter. Been as large as 13, I believe, in the first half. Here's Eggett outside Atwater. Coleman, got maybe away with an extra step. Out to Morgan, no. And rebound to Staley. Isaac on the push. Sends out to Best. Now to Fotheringham. And 15 on the shot clock. Oh, Best was cutting that backside. Missed opportunity there. The ball go back to Davis.
That was nearly play of the tournament. You got a little no-look backside pass.
But certainly in the play of the day conversation.
Yes. There's a lot of games still for play of the tournament. That's fair.
Yeah. I would love to, I have Will Ferrell going through my head because I listen to the Dan Patrick show, and he has the stat of the day.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell, yeah. But back the other way with Davis, and it's been Wicker and a number of guys, which is the way for Davis this year. Coleman Atwater, who's kind of been the leader down the stretch, has yet to get going offensively today. Is Eggett hanging, blocked away by Burgess. Burgess gets another one. That's off of, I thought maybe off of Eggett, say off of Lone Peak. But looking to the swap party.
Good defensive plays there.
Shot clock did not reset. 10 seconds on the shot clock. There's Atwater. Got loose, pulls, and hits. See if that gets Coleman Atwater going. Apologize for any audio issues we've got going on. We'll try to get that figured out. But Kramer out to Fotheringham. Staley on the drive, blocked away by Eggett. And now on the run with Davis, trying to make it a one-possession game with the 3. They can make it a 4-point game with the 2. Just in case you weren't aware of the values of shots in basketball. Eggett back to Atwater on the angle with Fisher, going to back things out. 15 seconds on the shot clock.
Deflect that away, go to the floor to get it back for Lone Peak. I say defense travels. That's a good example there of why that's so important. Can't always rely on that ball falling through the rim. Make key plays like that can be the plays that decide ball games.
Fotheringham gives it to Staley. Isaac hangs and hits. Nice job moving without the basketball. Isaac Staley, 6 points for the season's leading scorer.
Fourth quarter, been a couple plays for Lone Peak. Moving without the basketball, taking advantage of all that space as they pull everyone outside. And that time it's Staley with the athletic finish.
3. It's Eggett for 3. Timeout taken by Chad Sims with 4:50 left in the fourth quarter. You're watching the 2000. So welcome back in. Again, apologize for any audio issues. We're working on what's going on there. As we've tried to make our audio stuff a little better to try to incorporate third. Winner will take on the winner of Corner Canyon and Westlake. Isaac Staley. He's got 4 points in the fourth. Now make it 6.
And he's found his rhythm now. Tough first half for Ike. Didn't hit a shot. He's got 8 now. 6 here in the first 4 minutes of this fourth quarter.
He and Coleman Atwater, 2 sophomores. And Atwater got it.
That's why that young man was in the Utah Top 50 this summer. You see the potential that Coleman Atwater has. And you mentioned it, Dusty. The back couple weeks of the season, it was Coleman Atwater every game. And he's helping to keep Davis hanging around here.
Alex Fisher hits the deck as Staley hits the jumper.
Boy, that see Fisher up. I didn't see what had happened. I saw him down, kind of.
So a couple ankles here for Davis. Remember, it was Zach Fisher that went down in the first half but stayed in the game. Now Alex Fisher. Alex Fisher just turned his ankle, but he's going to come off the floor. Wicker, Atwater, Taylor, Zach Fisher, and Caden Eggett on the floor for Coach Chad Sims. Eggett hands back to Atwater, short on the 3. Zach Fisher couldn't save it, and the ball will go back to Lone Peak with 3:41 left in the fourth, and nursing a 7-point lead.
Feels like the efficiency of Lone Peak these last couple of possessions, points every time, making it really tough for Davis to make that comeback effort complete. Davis has to have a big defensive stand on this possession.
6 points in the fourth quarter for Isaac. Series of moves. Staley hangs, hits, and is fouled.
10 in the quarter for Isaac Staley, and maybe the thing that is most, he's getting his steps in. Before he even gets that basketball, I mean, he's navigating 2/3 of that offensive end of the floor, then comes out and gathers. And how about the move from Ike Staley? Caps it off at the line. My goodness, 13 points for Staley, all of them in the second half to lead Lone Peak.
Lone Peak leads by 10. Timeout on the floor. We'll be right back. You're watching the 6A Boys State Tournament on KSLSports.com. Welcome back in. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you, and Isaac Staley. He opened the first half, was 0 for 7 from the floor, but in the second half, Dane, he is, well, fourth quarter, he has been clutch.
Yeah, he has 11. Fotheringham, it's going to be his second.
Yep, second personal foul on Luke Fotheringham, and an interesting call there on that take. I've always been told you have the red zone to blue zone, right? Red from midcourt to about the free throw line, and then it gets more blue the further you go in. And that was, not going to write too much on that, but surprised at that one. No? All right. Atwater on the take. Sends out to Wicker for 3. Davis is not going to go away.
Yeah, a couple of made threes for Wicker in this second half. But again, it's got to start defensively. And Lone Peak executing, again, it feels like it's been 4 or 5 possessions in a row where Lone Peak has gotten points. And it's largely been the hands of number 0.
Top to Swiggett. 2:15 on a rolling clock in the fourth. 6 on the shot clock. Down to 5. Luke in the lane, no. Rebound to Atwater. Chance for Davis to get a 0 on one end, put points up on the other. And to cut into this deficit. Fisher stripped away by Fotheringham. Hands over to Thompson Kramer. Big defense there from Luke.
Boy, you miss a shot. And I was just going to say the ball never even touches Ike, which not that it has to, but with the way he's shooting, you can maybe open some things up. But how about Fotheringham, the response on the defensive end? You miss the shot, you come back, you get the ball back for your group. That's a big defensive play there for the senior.
And Lone Peak is going to try to just shorten this game down with the long possession here. Shot clock down to 10. Fotheringham out to Staley. A deep 3. No, and the rebound to Eggett. Left in the fourth.
Yeah, good job by that official right there. Agree, that's a right call.
Atwater quickly into Eggett. Davis doesn't have the luxury of taking a lot of time in this possession. Eggett with Staley right there. Got inside of him. Reverses, scores, and is fouled.
And I'll tell you this. I know Ike is kind of like what I do. I actually thought Ike was kind of using that thigh a little bit. Have another look here at the replay. See, well, we're a little late to get that, but just that right thigh, he's kind of pushing Eggett with the thigh into that baseline. And I was actually curious if they were going to call that. I think that's a good call by the outside official. And Eggett here with a three-point play opportunity.
You can't physically urge him to the baseline as Eggett's free throw won't go. Mercy. The White Channel basketball didn't fail him, didn't give him a shot either.
Gravity temporarily suspended.
He was just missing some of the music there. Is the foul on the baseline. That is the 7th team foul on Davis.
Yeah, come on, fans. Like, let the other student sections, I'm teasing.
Hey, let's learn to mingle together here.
Can't we just all get along?
Yeah, exactly. Timeout Davis with 54.8 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It is a full timeout, so we'll take it as well. You're watching the 2023 6A Boys State Tournament. So Swiggett at the line for the front end of 1-and-1. And it rattles out, tipped out, and it's taken by Staley. Another offensive rebound for Lone Peak and for Davis. Even with the shot clock, they got to give the
theater in this ball game has been rebounds. You get a missed front end of a 1-and-1, got to get that ball.
And in the front end, a 1-on-1 there for Fotheringham. I'm glad some people watching the stream, prepping for this week, enjoy the comedy hour, Dusty and Dane.
We try to keep it light.
Informative and entertaining.
That's right. Double threat, guys.
So Fotheringham hit the front end. Clutch like Cole. Knocks it down. And that's brother Cole, not the power Cole.
17 now for Luke.
Coming back the other way. Atwater got around. Fotheringham finds Eggett. And he lays it in and one.
There you Just a reminder about
missed on the free throw. Apologize for the technical issue. We're trying to get this squared away. And we got a foul that's going to put Lone Peak back at the line. 23. So welcome back in, Dusty Lister and Dane Stewart with you. 7.8 seconds left. Have to stay wide here on this shot as Coleman Atwater wisely. I think this is really smart. The foul to Fotheringham. Number 3 on Luke. And it's team foul number 7. It'll be 1-on-1 free throws here for Coleman Atwater with 6.5 seconds left. And the reason I like it is up 3. Atwater, you can have to make 2, then the foul, go back and play the game out here. But I think an interesting strategy is Atwater hits the front end of 1-on-1, and he'll have another. So Atwater hit the first. And the second. So it's a 1-point game with 6.5 seconds left as we got that echo figured out. Timeout taken by Lone Peak. 6.5 seconds left here in the fourth. And Dane, now for Lone Peak, got to make free throws with 6.5 seconds to go. Davis has no more timeouts and no other way to stop the clock. But there won't be shots going with the clock running until the final shot.
Yeah, and double bonus, right? So Lone Peak would be shooting 2. It'd be a question of who do you want to send at line, and if you're Lone Peak, who do you want to have, right? And how do you get him the basketball be interesting to see the pressure Lone Peak or Davis brings here. Do you guard the inbound? Do you leave a guy out there? You do. I mean, you got to foul immediately.
Yeah, you got to foul immediately. And now it's not even going for the steal. Got to give up the foul because you want to give a chance to run the clock down, because the advantage that Davis has at the moment is time, right? It's double bonuses and time. They get the foul, but if you let any time come off of this, it's going to hurt your opportunity to potentially run a play to tie the game,
right? Because
there's no timeouts left.
Yeah, and Lone Peak with just the one. So I mean, they could come out and try to run something creative. Davis defends it well. You can take a timeout, still have a second opportunity at it. And again, no Burgess. He's fouled out. So.
And again, with some of our technical issues, we're just going to stay wide and not trying to move around here. So 6.5 seconds left. Burton to inbound. And that's off the leg of Taylor. And that was super close to the 5-second closely guarded, which would be the worst thing for Lone Peak.
Yes.
Nothing else. Inbound that ball to the other end of the floor.
Right.
Burton gets it into Swiggett. And now the foul going to be charged to Zach Fisher. And gotta love being an official, because even when you're wanting your team to give up the foul, Chad Sims like, hey, I think we knocked it loose.
You sure that wasn't clean?
Yeah, you're really calling that right now? Is that what happened? But the other way, and Swiggett will go to the line is
Now here's the thing, right? So Davis no timeouts. 4.8 seconds left. I mean, the adage is a second per dribble. Right? So you certainly have enough time to get this ball up the floor. And if we learned anything from ASU Arizona last week, is that half-court prayers can be answered. So,
well, another thing is you want to make sure that you get the shot off where the red lights go off, as we learned from Joel Embiid the other night. Did you see that, a three-quarter length shot?
Not, no.
He had a three-quarter length shot, but the ball was still in his hand when the lights went off.
Fortunately, we have no review here, so it's going to be straight judgment call.
So Swiggett hit the first. And now you're going to have a lane violation, is what Chad Sims wants on Isaac Staley. And if that is the case, it'll be Davis basketball with a chance to tie or win with 4.8 seconds left.
What was the violation? I didn't see
it. Staley came from inside the ring, but I think he was inside the college ring, not the high school ring.
Yeah, that's the college line is the purple.
And they're calling lane violation and giving the ball to Davis. Isaac Staley stepped inside the outside three-point line.
Wow.
That is not a lane violation.
I don't know. We've got officials watching. Hit us up. Let us know.
4.8 seconds left. Inbound into Eggett. Late clock start. Atwater at the horn. And Lone Peak survives.
Wow. Tell you what, I mean, Lone Peak, man, great first half. Tip of the cap to Davis. Coming back, they have a shot. That shot goes up, and I'm like, that's got a shot. Was just wide from Atwater, but, man, Lone Peak able to fight off a ferocious Davis rally.
Final score, Lone Peak 54, Davis 52, the winner. Well, they move on to the semifinal. The winner will take on Corner Canyon Westlake. That is coming up next. Dane, your selection of a Heidemann Associates player of the game.
I'm going to go with Luke Fotheringham. I was tempted to go with Staley with his second half, but I thought Luke was consistent throughout. I'll go with Fotheringham as our player of the game.
I agree with you. I think Luke was the guy that gave him the leads. So final score, again, is going to be 54-52. Lone Peak moving on to the semifinal to take on the winner of Lone Peak and Westlake. Coming up next, you're watching the 2023 6A Boys State Tournament on KSLSports.com.